He is known all over the world as the nicest worker at the Las Vegas Gold and Silver Swap Shop. It's been almost 17 years since we started shooting Pawn Stars, so this has been a long time coming. Okay, so some of the cards in Magic are really pricey. You need them to play the game, but you also want to collect them. In March 2016, cops searched Chumlee's home for signs of a sexual assault. They looked for them, but couldn't find any. He didn't want to open the secret room, a space with a dance pole. He was going to spend 70 years in jail. People thought his job was over after that raid, but it was only the beginning. Fans, co-stars, and even the judge were shocked by what happened next. The funny guy from Pawn Stars was hiding things that no one thought were possible. I worked 8 hours a day at Quiznos and then 4 hours a day at the pawn shop. I worked for 135 days straight without taking a day off. His birthday is September 8th, 1982, and he was born in Henderson, Nevada. There were 6 people in his family, and they all worked hard to make ends meet. His parents weren't very wealthy. His mom worked at a restaurant, and his dad was a DJ. Chumlee saw the bright lights, loud noise, and busy life of Las Vegas as a child. Things were easy at home, though. There wasn't much money, so everyone had to help out. That mix of flashy things outside and simple things inside formed him. He learned early on that no matter what, you have to work hard and keep your feet on the ground. Before he turned 12, he had a name that everyone would call him by. When his friend's dad saw him, he said he looks just like Chumlee, the walrus from that old cartoon Tennessee Tuxedo. People liked the name Chumlee. It began as a joke, but became the name everyone heard of him. That silly moment helped him stand out later and made him easy to remember and he was on TV all over the country. Chumlee wasn't the only kid who grew up. He was one of 3 children. Corey Harrison was one of his best friends. These 2 kids were just hanging out in Henderson like any other. But the gold and silver pawn shop was owned by Corey's family. It was that friend who changed Chumlee's life. As the kids got bigger, Chumlee spent more time at the pawn shop and he joined the staff. Even though I really want to be on the Chumlee show, we film 80 shows a year, which is crazy. That friendship with Corey grew into something much stronger when the shop became the center of Pawn Stars. The show was a hit because of their back and forth on it. It wasn't just a personal friendship between them. It became something that people liked about going to the movies. She had a hard time at school. He quit high school. He was one of only 2 people in his family who didn't finish school. The other one was Sage, his brother. It might have been the end of his hopes and dreams. That didn't stop Chumlee, though. He found a different way to do well. He built a job that most college graduates could only dream of with his charm, street smarts, and people skills. The real name of Chumlee is Austin Lee Russell. He went into the Las Vegas Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in 2003 when he was only 21 years old. Most people would think he would quickly get a well-known part. The fact that he knew Corey Harrison from childhood and that his family owned the shop made it even worse. That didn't happen, though. Chumlee began his career as a cleaner and an item tester. Some jobs no one else wanted to do were his. He swept floors, cleaned cases, and did other things. He had to work hard to get his spot, even though he knew the owners. This wasn't a quick fix. He learned how the business worked and how to tell the difference between nice things and junk every day. Those things learned early on would be very valuable. Behind the scenes, Chumlee worked for 5 years, from 2003 to 2008. Back then, the shop wasn't a 2. He saw everything. When showmakers first looked for a shop to base a show on in 2008, Chumlee wasn't on their list. But it didn't take long for his unique charm and deep understanding of pop culture to become clear. As soon as shooting for Pawn Stars began in July 2009, Chumlee was all set. He was an important part of the team, not just a member of it. Chumlee was meant to be the funniest one when the show finally came out. He was the guy that everyone made fun of. He was meant to be the shop's town idiot. People didn't see him that way, though. They liked how laid back he was and how funny he was. It was because he wasn't trying to be famous that people liked him. Chumlee had become very famous by 2012. Every month, he got up to 60,000 fan letters. People bought t-shirts, mugs, and signs with his face on them, selling more than even Rick Harrison's stuff. At cons, people lined up to meet him. I am making this deal because I want to show Rick how to use something in the shop, to buy something and then make more money than I could have made if I had paid cash. He had gone from being a helper to a star. A lot of people were shocked by how much Chumlee knew. There was a real expert behind that laid-back persona. You could ask him how much a rare pinball game was worth. As a sports fan, he knew the difference between real and fake signed items. He had more than 200 sets of sneakers, some of which were worth thousands of dollars. He liked old toys and video games, and he knew a lot about rare systems and cartridges from the 1980s and 1990s. Chumlee was the person everyone in the shop went to for pop culture things. But just as things were getting better for him, bad things happened. The first episode of the show aired in July 2009, just a few weeks after Chumlee's father died of pancreatic cancer at 18 years old. Chumlee wasn't happy about his big break. He was sad. He has talked about how the death of his father made him work harder to make his dad happy. Fans who heard about his death sent their condolences, which made his rise to fame feel even more powerful. Chumlee says that his dad taught him how to work hard and to love getting things. Every deal he makes and thing he values is a small way for him to honor his dad. Chumlee's rise is the kind of story that makes you think. That was how most people saw him when Pawn Stars first came out in July 2009. But it didn't take long for people to love his laid-back humor and charm as an outsider. He moved quickly to make the most of what he had because he knew it was special. By 2010, he had his own business selling silly things. There were t-shirts, bobbleheads, pictures that were signed, and a lot of other things with his face or catchphrases on them. In just 1 year, his goods sold more than that of his co-stars, even the ones who opened the shop. It was clear that his fans loved him a lot. Chumlee was smart, though. It was tough to keep up with the desire for his goods. He did something brave that same year. Rick Harrison bought half of his business from him for $155,000. It wasn't just about the cash. He needed help taking care of all the orders. He could use the shop system to sell his goods both online and in the store because he worked with Rick. This helped Chumlee focus on building the brand and made it easy for fans to buy. Everyone could see how well-known he had become after that deal. Another thing it did was show other reality stars how to turn fame into real business. The fact that Chumlee was so far ahead in sales made his success even more crazy. Some people saw him as the show's comedic relief, but his fans loved that about him. His t-shirts, toys, and autographs sold better than those of Rick, Corey, and even the famous old man. You should bring a bunch of corkscrews that Rick really liked into the shop. However, Chumlee was not a member of the original. He wasn't an expert, but he became famous. In 2023, he was worth about $8 million. By 2024, it was down to about $5 million. Fans don't always pick the clear hero, as his story showed. Most of the time, they connect with the person who looks most like them. He didn't just stop at the pawn shop either. Because he was famous, he went to other big shows. He was in the 2012 episode of iCarly called Lost My Head in Vegas. This made him popular with younger people. People loved his easygoing style when he went on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Fans of cars saw him on Counting Cars in 2013 when he picked up his handmade 1963 Lincoln. The car did bring bad news, though. He became even more well-known after these outings. They showed that he wasn't just a TV star and helped him sell even more stuff. Most people didn't notice that Chumlee was having trouble for a long time. He was caught in Las Vegas in 2008, a whole year before Pawn Stars came out on TV. There was a charge of waiting for prostitution. At the time, it may have seemed like a small thing, but it showed that Chumlee had a dangerous side that would keep coming up. He was just another worker at the gold and silver swap shop at the time. Even though no one knew who he was, the arrest made the news. It was a sign of things to come. In 2016, after many years, police searched his house and found meth, weed, Xanax, and several guns. 20 felonies were charged because of that. The arrest in 2008 doesn't seem like a chance mistake now that I look back on it. Instead, it seems like the first crack in a carefully constructed image that would soon start to fall apart. Chumlee wasn't like the other people at Pawn Stars when it first opened. Chumlee had his own plans. While Rick and the Harrisons were only interested in making money, he told Corey to buy things that made people happy, not just things that would make him money. He really liked video games, pinball machines, and even circus stuff. People thought it was funny, but Rick didn't always agree. Chumlee thought these weren't just TV jokes. It was his true love to gather pop culture items. That love of what he did sometimes got him into trouble when he talked the shop into deals that didn't make financial sense. Even though Rick often got angry, Chumlee's crazy ideas kept viewers interested and gave the show its spark. His desire for fun over making money made him the shop's wild card, which brought him both fame and trouble. The way Chumlee dealt with people was another thing that made him stand out. He often sided with the sellers and pushed for higher deals than Rick or Corey were willing to make. Rick got mad about this and had to think about the big picture. Fans loved seeing Chumlee try to make people happy, even when he did it in a funny or awkward way. His jokes and fun personality made normal business deals into memorable events. He even did things that made it look like he was questioning Rick's power on camera at times. This stress helped the show stay interesting. Rick knew that Chumlee's fame was good for the show, even if it meant he lost some deals. A big part of Chumlee's story was how he had to choose between work and fun, but people didn't see that Chumlee was living two lives at the same time.